Good morning, everyone. Steve Georgie here with Corden Soroka today. Corden, thanks for being with me today. And I want to break down a couple things. First off, before we get started and get really diving into the markets, we're going to have a booth next week at Commodity Classic. Get down there, come say hi, stop in. Corden's going to be at the booth. Make sure you give him a high five when you see him. But really, hey, we're here for what's going on right now in the markets. And Corden, what do you think, man? What's going on today?
Well, they're continuing to just sell. Every little bounce we've had, corn, beans, wheat, they're selling.
Yeah.
And it looks like they wanted to try a relief rally today. It looks like we wanted it a couple days ago, and they just can't seem to stop the waves of selling that continue to hit us.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it could be we've got option expiration tomorrow. We've got first notice next week. And as long as those two things are kind of sitting over our head, we're kind of stuck in a situation where farmers need to make a decision if they're going to roll these contracts forward or if they're just going to be done. And it feels like right now, a lot of the guys are just going to be done with it and throw in the towel, at least for what's delivered against the March contract. So,
it's interesting because a lot of what you hear, it's like everybody wants a load to come in right now. Everything that you read doesn't matter from who it is, where it comes from, and it's, hey man, we need to go, or that we should be putting in, and we're just not, right? We're just not. And when you look at it, right, carry out numbers the way we have it, just the flow of the market, we're in a downtrend.
yeah.
And so it's hard to combat that. Are you looking for something this time of year or anything like that might be this pivotal point that can justify some kind of a bounce?
I think the thing that we've got to look at is, and it's going to take a bit of time, but at the end of March, we do have acres. The March supply and demand numbers probably aren't going to give us any excitement. Obviously, the low-hanging fruit is going to be South American weather. So we could say that could be something. But as far as a key point, we need to see something to drive the funds to cover their short position. And a lot of people continue to discuss the fact that they're near a record amount. The concern is they don't necessarily have to cover without a great story. And unless we get a big shock on acres at the end of March, the historical norm for this market is a continued slide from February into part of March. And it may not be as aggressive as the one we just saw, but it could continue to just grind lower as we work forward. It's not to say we won't get little bounces, but I think a lot of those bounces are still going to be met with sellers. And the scary thing about this market is it can go lower than most would think that it could go, just in times that it can go higher than most people could rationally think it could go. So we've got to kind of honor that and just try to get through the storm for right now. And then once we do that, I think into summer, we'll probably get a bounce. It's just from where, that's the concern.
Yeah. Is there anything between, corn, beans, or maybe even the wheat market that is maybe a glimmer of hope? Because it seems like every day we come in, we start bashing our heads and the market works lower. But is that wheat market trying to turn around? Is that something that might be the leader out of this thing? Or what's your take on the wheat?
The wheat could be, and I think the wheat can be because we don't have a huge supply of wheat sitting over our head. The farmers aren't sitting on much of it. It's all on the ground and growing. We could see that market find some buying if we get some drier weather in the plains. And so that, to me, could drive the wheat. And again, that could spark a little bit of short covering where the funds might par some of their position and say, we need to at least understand that there is weather risk still involved. And so that could be a little bit of a reminder. And obviously the stuff going on with Ukraine still and Russia still and the Red Sea shipping issue to move bushels from the Black Sea area all the way around Africa and then all the way to Southeast Asia could be a problem and could help prices. So the wheat could do it, but it's always dangerous hoping the wheat is going to lead the entire complex.
There's always that.
That's always kind of a difficult proposition to look at. So
now, is there anything, since this is a midday mayhem, is there anything that's outside of the grain markets that might be causing a stir today or something that Corden's watching?
I think we have to look at kind of money flow and equities, and the equity markets are getting really pushed hard today. And a lot of that is because excitement over some of the earnings in some of the tech companies. Now, it may or may not directly affect a risk on mentality for our market, and that's something we got to look at. However, if you've got a stock market that's rallying, the energy complex tends to be a little bit more positive, and that could make people feel a little bit better heading into summer, spring, driving season, which again could ripple its way through to ethanol or, even in a little bit of a way to biodiesel. The other big thing I think we got to keep track of is it's not necessarily in the market, but a lot of the discussions about renewable fuel stuff with the administration and what the government's going to do if there's going to be different standards. They've said they're going to talk about it. It's not a direct today issue, but it's something we need to keep track of if they're going to allow different mandates. So that could drive us. The dollar's not really doing much to us today. So it could ripple through from energies and what we're seeing in equities. And again, the overall consumer sentiment being positive with a record stock market again. So
well, here we go, right?
It could be.
Buckle in. So big thing is check us out at the Commodity Classic. If you guys are down there and in Texas, stop on over, say hi to Corden. He'll be in the booth, and certainly appreciate you guys. Give us a call if you have any questions. 1-800, the number 2-MARKET, 1-800-2-MARKET, or check us out on the hub, allendalehub.com. You guys have a great day today. We'll chat with you all very soon. Thank you.